Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. Thank you very, very much indeed for tuning in, which is for a very important and very serious announcement surrounding the football terrace, its future, myself, my own health, which I've spoken at large about over the last couple of years, and some what I think is some really intriguing elements. I always like to keep our community informed. I think you're the best football community on God's green earth. I really, really do. And I'm thank you all for joining. Of course, hit like buttons and make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. It's really, really important that you do that. Whatever video you're watching, whether it's us, another YouTube channel, it's key. Now, there's quite a lot to go through, but I'm going to kind of start at the beginning. Around 3 to 3.5 years ago, the Football Terrace embarked in a partnership with Snack Media. And the idea behind this was very much for me to learn and for the Football Terrace to grow and to, the sort of way I look at it is trying to help me achieve what my ultimate goal was. And my ultimate goal essentially was to grow the terrace to a point where I could really start to give back to people, employ people, pay people, really try and essentially turn a part of this industry as professional as possible, as so many of us enjoyed it. And I wanted to do more of it, and I wanted to really give back. And the partnership that I had with Snack Media, I enjoyed massively to begin with. And it was a really, really good and positive thing for myself. And it enabled me to employ people. I was able to bring KJ on board and give other jobs out to people I personally care about and also were very important to us here at the Football Terrace community. The last couple of years have been very, very hard for me personally indeed. Very, very hard. But equally a great learning curve as well. The original people that I went into business with sold their organization and we got new investors. And although I think at times they tried their absolute best, it became a real problem for me and a real problem for KJ as well. We went from having lots of help in trying to grow the organization to very much being by ourselves. And there is a lot of sort of security sometimes in being independent because you're in full control. But I was suddenly in this in-between space where I didn't know how much control I would have forever. I didn't know what my partners wanted to do. And it put this strain on me, which I didn't actually realize at the time until now that it damaged my health to such a large degree, the stress that went through me. Will the terrace continue? The people I employ, where will their jobs go? Can I personally afford to feed my children? And all this going through my mind. And it's been a very, very long, hard fight. A long, hard fight that I have been through over the last couple of years to get the Football Terrace back completely in my ownership, completely in my control, so that we can continue to grow and flourish as an organization, as a business, but a business that at the center of it is about you and is about the football community at large, having conversations, laughs, jokes, sometimes fights as well, because they're very, 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 very important as well. And it's one of these things that I'm really, really proud that we have got to this stage. That we have, we're closing in on 400,000 subscribers. KJ and I have got the Football Terrace back. And the new era that is about to begin is one that I am so excited about. My own personal health, as I've mentioned a few times on streams, I was suffering with initially what they thought was a suspected heart attack. My heart, thankfully, touching wood, last time it was checked, very, very healthy indeed. But the level of anxiety and the level of pressure, the level of panic attacks, the borderline agoraphobia this created. I've not shared this with anybody until now. A few people privately know, but most don't, that I went through a long period of time where, although I was still streaming and still putting on this public persona that I was okay, I was having to be wheeled from room to room. I wasn't leaving my house. I was petrified of dropping down dead with a heart attack if I stepped 2 foot away from my front door. And some of this, I put it down to all different reasons, but actually now this long and painful journey is over. The football terrace is secure. And I'm going to tell you why securing the football terrace is so important to me. Now that that is all done, I feel great. I can't even lie. The difference in me is palpable. And sometimes you don't always know quite where your stress is coming from, even if you think that you are handling it well. But it is over. My partnership with Snack Media has officially ended. I am still going to be working alongside people from Snack Media. In fact, Snack Media has now been repurchased back by some brilliant people, and there's some great people that are going to be working there, and we're going to continue to be partners in certain areas. But the sort of shackles that I had against us, the restraints that myself and KJ will tell you when he's on, that we went through over the past couple of years have been massive. And look, that's one group of people's business decisions versus another, and it is what it is. But it was very, very difficult for me. And the biggest reason is that my dream, my ambition for what I wanted to do for the Terrace was to really be able to give back, to give equity out to people, to help change other people's lives. And as cheesy and as corny as this sounds, I genuinely mean it. And we're going to get onto this in a minute, and what I'm now starting to do in this space and in this industry, which I believe is innovative and different, and hopefully sees a seismic change to the way content creating, podcasting is done in the football space. But I wasn't able to do this. I wasn't able to make it flourish. I wasn't able to push it forward. And it hurt me mentally, physically, emotionally. I felt like I'd let a lot of people down. I felt that as though I couldn't follow through with my promises. And I'm not perfect, and I would never, ever claim to be in any way, shape, or form. But I felt I was letting people down because I wasn't able to follow through with elements that I had promised. But as I say, we are now at the end of this process, and it's ended beautifully. We have got the football terrace back. We have got talks and plans with some new partners, different types of deals, but some new partners, which I am honestly, I want to cry when I think about it in terms of what it's going to enable us to do. KJ, as everybody knows, we've got two sort of platforms now. One is the squad, lots coming there in the future, so keep your eyes on it, and the football terrace. And what I've done, KJ has been a pillar of strength, a great friend and a great partner, great business partner, business partner through this process. And for that, he has been rewarded with a 20% stake across the organizations as a thank you for not only his hard work and his dedication, but his honesty and his integrity, which is very rare in this industry, if I'm being completely honest with you. So we have that, and we have the new partnerships that are on the way. And obviously you lot, when I said earlier that I was really ill, but I was still kind of putting on a brave face and streaming, genuinely, you were the only people that helped get me through that day to day for a large period of time. I was too scared to be alone with my children in case I dropped down dead and they were suddenly by themselves and they were in danger. I didn't want to drive anywhere in case I had an attack or a problem. But the only place I genuinely felt safe was sitting on a stream talking to you all. Some of them were tough. Some of you remember me sitting there like this throughout the whole of a stream, but you helped get me through it as well. I also want to thank a lot of the panelists and the people that appear on our shows, and that kind of takes me into the next stage here. When it comes to the YouTube scene, giving back is very, very important to me. And I'll give you the first person that ever appeared on Straight Facts, helped me build the show up. And I'll always have a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for what he helped me do was Lee Gunner. And obviously we named it Straight Facts as a bit of a dig at people that think their opinions are facts. And, you know, once that built up to a certain point, Lee started to get paid. He was the first person I started to pay regularly as a contributor. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually up to 8 people now that do these Straight Facts shows, of whom we all get paid. But we're now looking to do something different. And I think the YouTube community, the other channels, whether you've got 20,000 subs or 2 million subs, I think it's the same. We are now going to start to offer equity in those shows to each and every single individual that is on them. They're going to own a percentage of that show as it grows, and as hopefully the commercial deals and the partnerships come in and the revenue grows, they will be rewarded with a percentage of all of that. And this is something that I hope becomes common practice across the industry that we're in. I hope that, when you've got, when you're someone like Dan Lawless, or you're somebody like Staffy, or somebody like Don, and you've got channel after channel after channel calling you. I've seen you on the Football Terrace. I've seen you on your own channel. I've seen you here. I've seen you there. Please come on mine. Great. This is my worth. Let's look at equity plans. Let's look at payments now, because this is an industry that is very fast growing. And as I've said all along, my biggest ambition is to give back. My biggest ambition is to help take people along this journey that I'm enjoying and loving overall so much. And as I say, the last 2 years, it's been very hard for me to focus on that because I've had my own health issues and I've had problems internally. Those problems have now been resolved. Those matters have now been resolved. And they were difficult, as I say. Some of the decisions, some of the things that we weren't allowed to do were just a killer to me. But we're now in that stage, as I say, where, Mo, do I get paid? Not quite yet, my friend. So from that perspective, it's very much a case of, Terry, is there any outsiders to invest? We've never received any outside investment from anybody that isn't directly involved with the Football Terrace. That's never happened at any point. But as I say, we're now in a position where I feel like we can move into that future. We can start offering that equity. We can start to pay people better as these shows grow and create the kind of togetherness and the professional unit that's needed to make that happen. And I want to thank everybody that's part of Straight Facts. I want to thank everybody that's regularly part of the Top 6 show. KJ, I've already mentioned as well, because without these individuals, we wouldn't be in the space we're in. We do have a really good partnership that is that's going to be announced in the next few weeks. It's very different to what we did before. It will never end in the same way or go through the same problems, because that's the one beauty of going through these issues. You learn. And if anybody's out there with a YouTube channel or a podcast or a business, and there's companies that want to buy a percentage or invest in it, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying don't make the mistakes I did and get a better lawyer than I did first time round. That's my honest message. Get a better lawyer than I did first time round, because this time round, it's a lot smoother. And it isn't that partnerships are wrong or bad or shouldn't be pursued, but it's about making sure that you get all your ducks in a row and everything is right. And sometimes it can just be one sentence out of a 30-page document can genuinely damage your life for 2 years, which is crazy. But as I say, we've got some great things on the horizon. The Football Terrace is not only staying, the Football Terrace, in my humble opinion, in the next year is going to go from strength to strength. We've been planning it, me and KJ, for a long time, multiple new shows that we want to bring into production. We have new individuals that we want to bring in, a new platform that we really want to get off the ground. And we're going to be doing that with our new partners momentarily. And as I say, we've started the discussions now with the sort of members of our Straight Facts team and others to provide them with equity within the organization so they are secure. So if the Football Terrace does keep growing and we get big sponsorship deals and everything else, which, by the way, is an ambition, they are going to get a part of that. They are along for the ride. It isn't just about me or somebody else lining their pockets and pulling up the ladder and saying, I'm okay, Jack. So I wanted to, first of all, thank you all for being so loyal, for being here week in, week out, show in, show out, and showing that dedication to the Football Terrace. Because without you all, the channel is nothing, quite literally. And we know that the vast majority of you enjoy the content week in, week out. So I want to say thank you to all of you. And as I say, my contributors and everybody else, KJ, of course, my family get a mention. My beautiful children have been a godsend, and the mother of my children as well, who has been a pillar of strength through all of this process, which has chewed me up. I can't tell you, chewed me up, no sleep. And probably the next stage of myself is getting the weight off. That's been the worst bit. I didn't lose any weight during this because I just eat when I'm stressed. So I've got to lose a little bit of weight and I've got to move some things on. But as I say, look, I wanted to make this announcement that the Football Terrace is no longer in the partnerships that we were. We're back to our best. We are fully in control and the future is looking very, very bright indeed. And I just wanted to thank all of you for your continued support, help, guidance, and everything surrounding this, because as I say, it's been a very, very long and hard road to get back here. It really, really has. And it's interesting because I remember having a conversation with my big brother about how I was feeling with the stress and the anxiety. And I've never been someone that suffered with anything like that my whole life. And he just said, look, he said, you can go to therapy if you want. He says, you can even take pills if you want. But if you don't find the root cause problem and address it, nothing will ever change in reality. And it was a really strong moment for me where this is a while back, and it was I thought I knew what the issue was, so I focused on it, and we've got there now. I also want to thank some of the brilliant people at Snack Media, like Hector, like Richard. They know who they are, who essentially rescued this situation. Without them, I do think the Football Terrace would have been shut down. I do think the Football Terrace would have failed to continue as it is. That would have been the only solution to that point. And that was stressful for me. As I say, there's promises I made to people. There's jobs that people, KJ got married and bought a house, and then all this is going on. And I care. I genuinely do. And yeah, I want to thank everybody for making this plausible, possible, and achievable. I'm going to go to some of your super chats, and KJ is going to come out and join me. Terry, I watched your channel when you were doing football news, going to work. Now the growth of the Terrace just shows your hard work and dedication. Even if TFT allows investment from the public, I would be the first to invest. Well, this is the thing. We want as best we can to continue making free content. And this is why I do get into discussions with the viewers sometimes, because you get some people, and it's a fair point. They said, Terry, we think you've sold out. Why have I sold out? Well, you've got a sponsor, and having a sponsor is selling out. Well, I can assure everybody this: at no point has a sponsor ever told me what to say, and they never will. They never have that control over me at any point. But having those sponsorship deals enables us to keep growing and putting ourselves into a different scenario and circumstance. And hopefully we never need sort of crowdfunding in that way. Hopefully we don't, and we get that from other sources, so we can keep creating the free content for people like yourself, Jerome. And again, you're a very dedicated member of the Terrace, and a lot of time, love, and respect for you, my friend. So thank you. 18 months have flown by, Declan. When I think 18 months ago, it's probably in the worst, my worst condition that I've been in. Sophia here says, congrats, Terry and KJ. Also happy your health is better, Terry. Love the TFT community. Thank you, Sophia, very, very much for that indeed. I really do appreciate it. Mama Flossie here, always on the shows, saying well done, and saying well done. But thank you. I appreciate that so much. Chow here says, Terry, I want to thank you. You gave me a platform to express my opinions, and now I'm a part-time writer and host with the deck, partly due to the Football Terrace. I'd love to come back on this season. Always welcome, my friend, and I'm glad that I see your content around and see how well you're doing, and very, very proud of you, my friend. Love your show, Terry. We are always here for you, mates. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. And thank you, CeeLo, for saying you're happy for me. I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. Genuinely, I'm in an amazing place now. And a few people messaged me before we went live, and they sort of said, oh, is this to do with yesterday with you and Lee? I ain't got no problem with Lee in any capacity. I have no problem with any YouTuber. And I can look straight down the barrel and tell you that. I don't care if Joe Blogs has an issue with me. It's not the space I'm in anymore. I've lost a lot of time and energy in my life worrying and being concerned. But now all I focus on is my family. I focus on my friends. I focus on my business partners, and trying to make the best content possible for you all. That and my dog, that and my Rocky. Outside of that, the rest of it is just noise. That is a distraction. So yeah, no beefs from my end, no problems with people. And listen, if people want to challenge my football opinion, challenge what I think about Arsenal, Man United, about this transfer, that transfer, more the merrier when it comes to challenging my football opinion. Absolutely. Big up, Terry and KJ. Glad you are doing better. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that indeed. Big up, Terry. Thank you, Dan T, as well. I appreciate your comments there, my friend. A few people asking, what do I mean by other channels? Look, as I say, look, I can't speak for all the other channels and what they're doing, but I feel as though hopefully what we now start to do means, and I'm not naming any channels because this isn't about any individual, but I now hope that other individuals out there that are always getting Igal on their channel, or they're always chasing to get Lawless or Staffy or Don on their channels. I hope now that, I'm hoping to try and set a trend where everybody starts to give back. Everybody starts to give percentages of their shows away, paying these individuals for their time, because their time isn't free. And I think, as everybody starts to grow and starts to move into a different space, try your best to give back. Don't bankrupt yourself. Don't be a mad person, but definitely try to do that. And we're starting, and we've got plans, and that's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. So yes, very, very excited about the future indeed. And I think we need to do that in this space to help give back to everybody. That's such a key component and contributor. Tevin here says you are one of the pillars of the average fan in this space, Terry. I can only hope you grow with strength to strength. We are behind you, the mutant army. You're not a mutant, Tevin. Do you know what's really funny? Most of the mutants online don't like me either. Honestly. Only been following for a year, but love the ecosystem of empowerment you've created. And you know what? That's really what it's about as best we can. You can't allow complete empowerment in every single area. Sometimes I do have to be a little bit autocratic and make decisions and stop things, but that's what we're trying to create. And it's why when it comes to Straight Facts is going to be first, and then we're going to look to do it with other shows. We want to start giving control and giving power and giving equity to our contributors because they're such an important component for what it is that we are doing. I mean, I also believe it's the best way of protecting the football terrace and the best way of protecting those individuals. There've been many a great podcast where they haven't been offered fees, or they haven't been, when the channel's making money, but they're not paying them, or they're not offering them equity. And then that group leave and start their own thing. And then it becomes a big mess. Well, I don't want that in either direction. I don't want people to be mistreated as best as possible. Sometimes people do things where you have to tell them no, and you have to lay the law down. But typically speaking, I don't want anyone mistreated in any capacity, really. But equally, I don't want a point where a great show that we have ends because people feel undervalued. And that's what's so important, is making sure people feel as valued as possible. And that isn't always possible. And it's not, I'm not sitting here pretending like everything I've ever said or done has been right. And it's about me. And this last couple of years has been a lesson for me, especially the last 9 months, about trying to be better, trying to do better, and taking that feedback on board. The one thing that will not be changing is my title. I love the titles of my shows. Do you know what's really funny? I did used to title them similarly, but it was YouTube that told me to change them. It's my YouTube manager that tells me off if I haven't titled them right. He works for YouTube. So I'm sitting there sometimes going, the viewers say no, but YouTube say yes. What do I do? But yes, I'm definitely not going to be changing that. A couple more comments here before KJ comes out. Do you know what? Midnight Vibes could potentially come back. The problem with Midnight Vibes, though, it's because the good contributors have jobs. So unlike in lockdown, they can't be staying up till 2, 3 in the morning. That's the only reason it stopped. KJ started working for me, and I needed him up in the morning to do work. That's why it stopped. You know what I mean? A few people asking for Midnight Vibes to come back. And maybe one day, maybe a special show. Get the old gang back together. KJ is here with me now. Welcome back, mate. I know it's a Friday evening and everything else, but bro, we did it.
Oh, we did it. Freedom. Oh my days. Guys, you don't understand. I think you do now that Terry's explained pretty much what was been happening, but being behind the scenes, being a part of it, it's been a massive weight that is now finally off Terry's shoulders, off my shoulders as well. And I'm happy to be here. I've always been a part of Terrace ever since I joined, and I've absolutely loved every part of it, from calling in to doing Midnight Vibes. Obviously, you guys big up the Vibes FC crew, being on full time, and now being minority owner of the Football Terrace. It means a lot, and yeah, it's life changing. It really is. Like what the house I've got now, my beautiful wife that I have now. We had a beautiful wedding. None of that could have been possible without Terry and the Football Terrace. And I hope people see what's happened with me and really think that actually, like, life can change in fantastic ways whenever you're not expecting it. You know, like when I first called into the Terrace, I did not predict any of this happening. I thought I'll do it during lockdown and go back to my normal life afterwards. But I remember one time after a stream, me and Terry was sitting down, just the two of us talking. And at that time, I was like, why is this guy still talking to me? It's like flipping 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? He got something to do. But he really laid out his vision for the Football Terrace. And that is, I still remember to this day, the moment I said in my mind, like, yo, this platform, this man is someone I will always support and give my time and my effort to. And here we are. And it just shows Yeah. Go on, big up Jem, man.
They
Big up
were the
Jem.
old school days. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, you just reminded me of something. There's been so much that's happened and I forgot. And I will give this example because we don't work with them anymore, so it's fine. But the way KJ's job was done is that KJ has a basic, and if he hits certain goals, then he gets a bonus. And KJ needed his bonus towards his wedding. He hit the goals, he hit everything, but people I used to work with wouldn't sign off on him getting that money. And that kind of thing pains me because we're sitting here and it's like, why are you finding weird excuses and weird little loopholes to not do what's right? That's not how I personally operate. I mean, we solved it in the end. We solved.
Yeah,
well, I
we got
solved it. We got there in the end. But it's one of those things where it's like all these things was why I was so desperate to get it completely back. Like I still had a lot of control and power, especially in production and everything else. But it was just, hang on, we can't be offering people roles and jobs and incentives and then not following through, because that's a bad look on all of us. But obviously, when you're nameless and you're faceless and you're not around, it doesn't really matter. But I'm the one that's got to show my face. I'm the one that's got to speak to this man. And it was very, very difficult indeed. And as I say, your loyalty through all of that is why, you were rewarded with a stake in the business and in the organization, because that loyalty is rare. A lot of people would have turned their back and run, said this is a scam, this is crap. I mean, you knew I was telling the truth because I could show it and prove it, but a lot of people would have run away. And what I didn't want to have happen was the Terrace die after all the years and the hard work that myself and you and everybody, and I can't even name everyone who's been involved, has put in. So I didn't want it to die and crash and burn, but I couldn't have it behave in that way. And yeah, it's just, as I say, people should enter into these partnerships. But if I could go back 3 or 4 years, I definitely would have changed lawyers. I would have changed lawyers. Yeah. It would have changed everything. But you know what it is? Like, you don't know what you don't know. And the problem is it was all great. And things happened.
And to be fair to you as well, you don't predict, you signing that paper when you first did back in 2020 or 2021. You don't predict your partners to sell to someone else within a year. You know,
and in fairness to them, they thought they were doing it for the right reasons as well. Yeah. Like, and you were there, you were in the office. We were like, wow, like, look what help we're gonna get. We were like planning things to a point where we were like saying, like, Javern, this guy, this is what we're gonna have. The jobs are gonna be here. This is what we were just like, this is amazing. It's like dreams come true. And then they made everyone redundant. It was like, fucking hell. What are you doing? I was honestly the stress I used to feel was absolutely crazy, and I think that's physically why it broke me. And you know, it was weird. Maybe a year ago, I'd have been too embarrassed to have said that the pressure of it got to me, but it did. It ruined me. But as I say, having good people around me, yourself, and obviously the original people, the Richards, the Hectors coming out and helping and getting it back, and the beautiful people as well, because they've worked in great faith and they've done everything the right way, and they've ensured that they've ensured that the Terrace stays alive, and the Terrace is important for a lot of people. And I'm just talking job point of view and the future that comes with it. And yeah, man, it's going to be, and obviously you know what's coming next as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I'm very excited about that. Again, like, I thought this was life-changing, just being involved in Terrace. This next thing is another life-changing. You know what it feels like? It feels like being a Premier League footballer, getting an offer from Saudi. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're already good. You know what I'm saying? You're already good.
No.
Better, you know what I'm saying?
I feel the same. And ironically, I wouldn't want to go through what we went through. But now that we have, there is also part of me that's really grateful, because I've learned so much. What's now coming is going to be even better, because we had to like learn so much stuff throughout this process. Crazy. Original base Annie here says Neeks, Adam, KJ, have hope, Javern, Anita, David, Daniel. Which one? There's multiple.
All the
Gem, Prime, Man Like Prime. Yeah, great people. People.
And you know what? I don't want to. You see that list and many more. You should see where some of these guys are at now, especially like, so let's say someone like Anita. She's done amazing. Absolutely amazing in her career now, where she's at, what she's doing, the people she gets to interact with. But people don't understand. Anita worked hard, but Terry saw the potential in Anita and gave her opportunity to be herself on a platform without feeling like she has to change who she is. Where other platforms, they have to they've told her before, you've got to change this about your platform. You've got to change this about yourself. But Terry saw the potential in Anita, Daniel, David, and all of us. And he's allowed all of us to come on, and many people have flourished off the football terrace. So when people like to chat rubbish on this platform's name, rubbish on Terry's name, I just tell them, look, go look at the people, go look at the history of the football terrace, the people that have been on it and where they're at now. You're telling me a person who's so awful, so bad, so evil would allow people to flourish the way they have? Get out of here, man. Like, it's been amazing, absolutely amazing.
No, and I appreciate you saying that, and it's a big part of what we do. And interesting comment here that says, keep control, Terry. Mr. Beast is the best example of this. People have offered millions and millions. But this is the thing. I get that. The original people I went into business with were great. And they had a percentage, and I had a percentage, and I had a lot of control still. The problem is that with the new people that kind of took over, they just challenged everything, and everything became a fight. Basic things, because it wasn't about losing control. It was just a fight. I didn't lose complete control, but you're absolutely right. And that for me is my learn. As I say, I never proclaimed to be perfect. I never proclaimed to be the greatest businessman of ever. But you know what's really funny? Over the last couple of years, when talking about the business element of football clubs and how long deals take to go through, me and KJ, when everyone was going, I can't understand why it's taken so long for Sir Jim, and we're like, bruv, if our deal took 11 months of negotiating, imagine what a multi-billion-pound deal would take. Like, it's crazy.
Our contract papers at one point was longer than Sir Jim's and the Glazers' contract papers, man.
Bro, the first one that came through was 257 pages. I remember I gave it to my lawyer, and he was good, very good. But he just went. I remember he said, "I feel sorry for you." He goes, "This is going to cost you so much money. This is going to take me a week to read." And I was like, I know, but I need you to read it because I need to know what I'm letting myself in for. And yeah, man, as I say, from Terry's been fired. No, sir. Not at all. Not in any capacity. But as I say, you know, we're out the other end, and the Terrace is, you know, we've grown. The beautiful part of this is that we've grown through all of it. Throughout the whole situation, we've continued to grow. And that's why I'm so thankful to the audience, because you've stayed with us, and you don't realize how much you got us through some of these days and some of these moments. And yeah, listen, the next stage is going to be amazing. As I say, we're going to look to
as well. Like the football terrace, it's not like we've gone through these hard times and we stagnated. More of you have come. You know what I'm saying? The community has just been getting bigger and bigger while this is happening. And we just know what's going to happen next.
The studio is coming back. I mean, there's a new studio space that's done. But because of the negotiations with our old partners, they stopped us having access. So it's like 9 months of not being able to like do it, and it's there, and we paid for it, and it's just been crazy. And it was just one of the stipulations of the conversations, and it was around avoiding people, and we couldn't be in. It was all a bit weird. Like we couldn't be in the same room as or same building as certain people, not because there was a fight, just because of conflict. It was like, all right, whatever. It was just all these little things that just happened. And the thing is, because I was also ill, I couldn't fight everything. I couldn't argue. And it's interesting because the one thing it has taught me, though, Will, is that's why I don't get bogged down by a lot of things that people say. The mute and block button is beautiful. If people don't like what I do, I don't care. I'm not out here hurting people. I'm not out here pushing theories that are dangerous. That's the one thing I'd say about anybody's football opinion. It's not dangerous. You're not, you know what I mean? You're not trying to take someone's rights away. You're not trying to hurt people. You're literally just talking about football. And I think what I've learned through this process is just to relax a lot more, you know?
Yeah, I've just seen, this got safe. I love you, man. CEO safe, baby. Let's go. I love you, man. Love this community. You guys
safe is so funny. Yeah, no, he's still there. He's still there. But no, as I say, it's been a crazy ride. Daniel here says, congrats to Terry and KJ. All the best for the future. Thank you very, very much indeed. And look, the future for the YouTube space. People have got to offer out more equity. People have got to, and I'm going to say this bluntly, people have got to start paying the regular guests that they have on. They've got to start being more professional. I really do. And the reason I say that is this, because the one thing me and KJ both learned through conversations, the multimedia companies, the multi-millionaire, billionaire organizations, they are coming for the football fan space. And unless we become more professional, you will get left behind. And I genuinely mean that. And when I say more professional, it doesn't mean you can't criticize. It doesn't mean you can't be angry and shout. What it actually means is drop all the petty arguing, all the petty beefs, all the petty fights, and focus more on as a industry growing together. Even if you don't like someone, ignore them, but don't hurt the industry that you're in. Genuinely, that's my advice to a lot of people. That is what's best for the future, not just of the football terrace, but of everybody in this space. Drop your petty bullshit. Drop that stuff. Yeah, you might get a few views on a video, but you're damaging the industry. And by the way, I'm not speaking as someone, I've never done that. I spent far too many years between sort of 2015 and 2017 doing it. And I will say this to everybody, not focusing on that and focusing on myself, no matter what people have said about me. And you'll know, KJ, a couple of years ago, especially, some of the weird stuff that was being said. It was like, how can anyone even make that accusation? Do you know what I mean? I tell the viewers, I once got accused of stealing the concept of the football terrace from a channel that was only invented 3 years after we went live. And it was the weirdest thing. But I never reacted. I just every day got on with work. And I think that's the most important thing that we can do. Me and that individual are now cool as well. We've patched things up, and it's the best way to be. Dio here, congratulations, Terry and KJ, on to bigger and better things. Abso-friggin-lutely, mate. I've been seeing since your car interview days, big up. And that's something I want to bring back, actually. Content in the car, I want to start bringing back. I might start doing it when I start driving into the studio. I might just start recording some content like on the way in.
Yeah.
Throwback.
You know what you might need to do? You might just need to throw on a suit and walk around Canary Wharf again. You know what I mean? Just to...
Bruv, I'm not going to lie, right? After this last couple of years, I actually tried on one of my suits not long ago. It's not that I can't do it up. I can't get my leg in. My leg don't fit. Because I used to wear really skinny. The thing is, as well, I have started cycling in the last few months. Like my legs have just got massive. It's ridiculous. So they don't fit in my old skinny suits. That literally, my calf is getting caught in the knee.
Oh yeah,
it's finished. It's finished. Does this have anything to do with your beef with Lee? Zero. As I say, I have no beef with Lee.
You have a beef with Lee? I don't know what that is.
No. Again, zero beef with Lee. You know, I've seen his channel recently at 100,000. Congratulates him. He's doing his thing. Always welcome on the terrace. I've got no issues, no qualms, no beef whatsoever. All that happened yesterday, and a few people have said actually earlier on in the chat that, you know, I should have reached out privately. I did. I didn't say nothing publicly to begin with. It was just Matt. I was under the impression that Matt was telling everyone he was representing the football terrace when he doesn't work for me, and I didn't want that. And yeah, but zero beef. Like, of course, zero. I don't do beef. Do you remember Sam Smith? FFG money is on my mind. Yeah, you do look like Sam Smith. You look like Sam Smith before
Donny James, man.
Before the change. You had me worried for a second, Tel. I love this show and everyone on here. Happy for you and excited to see the growth of the terrace. Thank you, Abraham. And as I say, it's over. The future begins now. I mean, in the short term, you're going to see absolutely zero difference. It's going to look very much the same for a bit, but hopefully by next weekend, we're back in the studio in London. I just need to I'm having a table bespokely made this week and getting like a sign for the front of it, and we should be back there. And I'm excited to be working with Javern again. Excited to be back in the studio again. It's crazy, all those things. And yeah, but getting back
we need to get, you know what we need to do? We need to get our brother Igal back in the studio with you, mate.
I'd love to get Igal back. I'd love to get Igal. But by the way, I brought this into the room earlier to undo it, and then I've been so busy talking to the people that I've.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect time to. You know,
and it is. It's a good day. It's an amazing day, and yeah, we got there. We got there in the end. Hang on a minute. Let me try and get this off. I'm struggling now because I'm on camera. Do you know what I mean? Struggling. I missed a tie box. Bloody hell, a long time no see. He says, I can relate, Terry. Used to sleep in a hospital car park from panic attacks. Couldn't wish it on anyone. Also put on weight and lost it all. Glad you are feeling better. Yeah, I appreciate. Listen, I get it. And you know, mine was a weird one. Like, what was mad when I was really ill with the anxiety, the amount of other illnesses I got. So I had 3 chest infections in the space of... Oh my God. Jesus. You see the reaction to that? Oh my God. I'm all right. I'm all right. My eye is still in place. Oh my God, dog's coming now, panicking. It's all right, Rocky. It's all right, boy. Yeah, like I had like 3 or 4 chest infections in the space of 4 months. I kept on getting these infections in my legs where I couldn't stand up or walk. And I remember having to be wheeled from the bed just to stream. I used to get wheeled from the bedroom into the studio, stream, and then get wheeled back out and just roll back into bed. And I was doing that for weeks, like weeks and weeks and weeks at a time. Yeah. It was crazy. And it's weird because I've always been one of them men that thought, nah. Do you know what? Have you ever seen The Sopranos?
No, and it's one of my lists. It's one of my lists.
So in The Sopranos, first time I watched it, this doesn't ruin it for you, but the main character has panic attacks in it. And when I first watched it, I thought to myself, fuck off. Panic attacks. What? I never thought they were real until I started having them. And it was the incontrollable nature of them. And obviously you witnessed some in Doha, you witnessed someone, and it was just, I'm normal 1 second, and the next minute I'm up against the wall and I can't move. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude, going being out there with you while he was going through that wasn't hard on me personally because I'm here to support you, but seeing you go through it was hard. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, yeah, man. Like I know this guy is a strong man, but you can't help it. You know what I mean? You actually are going through something. But yeah, going to Doha was a mad experience.
It was a crazy experience. But it was all those things as well. Like we had all these opportunities to go places, and the fight to get there.
Yeah.
The stress.
The football content awards as well. You was there and disappeared real quick for the rest of the
night. I went to the football content awards. It was 2 years ago now. I was so ill with all the anxiety. I couldn't stand around and talk to anybody. It was mental. I just kept on walking out the room. It was awful. It's weird when I think about it now. Juddy here says, breaking news, the football terrace have separated from previous partnership in a permanent deal. Paperwork is being finalized after structure of the deal is agreed upon. Paperwork is signed, baby. Money has been transferred. You know what I mean? And there we land. People are triggered by that as well.
We might need to get his kid on. We might need to get him on, you know.
Yeah, he's well beyond us. The man's been on CBS and Sky. We ain't getting him on. Don here says, what do you mean the good ones have jobs? I mean, back then, the good people had jobs.
Yeah, for
you
me,
have a job with Sam.
Yeah.
And obviously, we've got a lot of work coming up with Sam and Mo as well. Got some really exciting stuff with those two gentlemen. So, yeah, really exciting indeed. Safe here says, be honest, please, will you bring Safe to this? You're still speaking to third person. Listen, I'll be honest with you. As much as I'm in a good mood, as much as life is great right now, Safe, you are not coming to where the studio is, bro. you are not. You are not coming.
Well, one day we might have to do a special meeting.
Yeah, we'll do it where we meet you somewhere like outside Stratford train station where there's loads of people, and I feel proper safe when I'm back in East London. Do you know what I mean? I always feel like I'm home. So yeah, maybe we do it something like that. I feel safe around Safe. Yeah. Terry, do I get a plaque for 60 months as a member?
Imagine if we could do that. That'd be
amazing. It'd be amazing. We're going to update a lot of the member stuff soon as well. I'll be honest with everybody. That's been areas where I've had to take my eye off the ball in terms of fighting and getting this deal done, plus just getting myself better, really, while still trying to make. Honestly, what I did feel though during this last couple of years is I missed being a proper employee, like when I was at Barclays and stuff, because I could have just taken like 3 months, 6 months off full pay and got better. Having to like work, this is what another little learning curve. Working through the problems is so hard because you can't take the time and the rest because you're self-employed essentially. So it's difficult. And I know to a lot of people, YouTube just looks like it's one of those weird things. It's why I did the partnership originally, so that I could grow the business to a point where it could sustain me. So I could then grow it to a point where I could employ people. And that's why I had to do it the way that I did. Yeah. Again, hindsight is that's why I always say hindsight is lucrative, because if I knew then what I know now, I probably wouldn't have done it in the same way. But then I didn't know that. I didn't know what I know now, so I had to have done it that way. It's all just, it is what it is. But I've learned a lot, which has been great. So there we go. What is this here?
Yeah, Annie's saying he missed selling cakes. Oh, fam.
Yeah, I want to big up Henry. He says, never heard any proper football talk on this channel, just wafflers, end of. But you're here. So, Henry, my brother. Yeah, John Malkovich. Big up, bro. Big up, bro. That comment was just like John Malkovich in Of Mice and Men. Do you know what I mean? George. So thank you very much indeed, brother. I appreciate again, I can take the criticism. I can take the criticism of the content, as in the footballing opinions if you don't like them.
Before the stream ends, because I know your cues now. What's one thing you look back on and you're grateful for this entire run, and then what's one thing for the future you're looking forward to?
Oh, what am I grateful? When you say what am I grateful for, what do you mean? In what context?
Grateful you've enjoyed, you've a highlight, something along those lines from your time as Football Terrace director and owner.
I think I would say, it's so difficult. There's been so many great moments. If I think about over the last 3 years in this cycle where we've been, I would say the end of the season a couple of years ago, where we had the room full of people. It was a great final day of the season. City, other than City winning the league, they stopped Liverpool. That was a great day and a great night afterwards, and it was beautiful sharing it with people. And strangely enough, we thought it was going to continue to be like that from there, and then all these problems started, which was annoying. And we want to bring that back. And I think, and you know what's coming in terms of the future. I can't say what I'm looking forward to because it's not ready to be revealed yet. But let me just tell people this: what we're about to embark on, and I can say this now with more confidence than ever before. It's a genuine game changer for us and for the industry. For everybody that's on shows. I think for our viewers are going to love it. I think the viewers are going to absolutely love it. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing what comes next. And the bit that I'm most excited about from it though, is being able to give back. Like I say, it's being able to employ more people. It's being able to, and I don't mean this with disrespect because I'm a working class man. And I'll always have my working class roots. But I know there are people that are currently doing jobs that they're not particularly happy and they have a passion to be in this space. And it is hard to be able to do it full time. And being able to give people that opportunity for me will be such a privilege. And yeah, it's that gets me out of bed. That excites me. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. And promoting you, giving you the pay rise, giving you all the things that you deserve as well. Because as I say, KJ, there's not many of you around.
Yeah, man, and I appreciate that, and I'll always give back. If we get to a certain point and I'm living a certain life, I actually might have to name one of my childs Terry. Or at least middle name Terrace or something there. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do that. But I appreciate it. But
Kai would kill me anyway.
No, I bet, bruv. I bet she's giving you that side eye right now. Like, no. Like, if you ever get a pet, maybe if you get a dog or something like that.
Yeah. You know what? It's been amazing. It's been an amazing time, people. It's been an amazing time. I think for myself, Qatar was amazing. That night when Morocco beat Portugal, absolute vibes.
Oh my God.
Absolute
Beautiful night.
Midnight vibes. I think, you know what? I want to say midnight vibes because I came to you with an idea and said, Terry, here's an idea. I want to do this kind of show. I gave you a time slot. You're like, you know what? Let's go run it. And you didn't have to actually give me anything. This is what I mean about Terry giving back. I just wanted to do a show on the Football Terrace. But he decided to be like, you know what? Let's split the equity of the show between me and you 50-50. And that was all the way back in 2020, 2021, And from then, that's when I think I really started to grow within the Terrace, really started growing my skills as a host, and I'm podcasting and speaking. And yeah, and the love that you guys show my show, and the amount of people would love to come back. I couldn't have done that if Terry didn't give me that chance. So yeah, midnight vibes, 100%, man. Vibes, let's go.
And I remember what your dad said to me on your wedding day. Your dad pulled me aside and I'll tell everybody what he said. He said, Terry, I want to thank you for getting my son out of his bedroom. I died. He obviously was a little bit tongue in cheek when he said it, but listen, mate, it's one thing that I'm very proud of when it comes to the Football Terrace overall is the opportunities that we've helped to give people, and we do it without prejudice. I don't expect it back. One of the first TV appearances that Adam McCullough ever got was something through us. Before Mark Goldbridge was United Stand and he was Soccer Box, we used to post these videos and tell people to go and watch them. You mentioned Anita already, who is killing it. She's smashing it out there. And I remember when she was going through periods, I think I might quit. And I hope you don't mind me sharing this. I would message her and just say, don't be silly, keep going. You can use this platform. There's been multiple people that I want to become a host and presenter, and I've gone, okay, well, I'll give you some opportunities on the terrace to do that and hone your skills. And we want to do, and what the next stage for us is about doing a lot more of that, if that makes sense. So I think for me, yeah, look, it's what we've always been about. And well, listen, we're not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody likes what we do and what we say. And
we're not seen as the coolest or the most chic or the
yeah, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And we will continue. This is what I say to people as well. Like me and you always have these conversations in our meetings, and we discuss it. Oh, do you think our titles are misleading? What might be a subject? And we're like, well, do you know what? The growth of the channel, the average view time that people watch, the amount of people that come back, no, I don't think people do feel that way. And it's always good getting the feedback, and it's always worth having the discussion because they're always open to it. But I think for me, what shows you that you're moving in the right direction is if you continue to grow and if the majority of the feedback is good. And I think too many people in the internet world focus on the negative comments. Look, I've had them 4 horrible comments out of the 10 that have come through. I'm going to focus on them. Oh, look, there's been another 10 comments. There's another bad one. Yeah, you're focusing on the minority. And sometimes you've got to listen and take that feedback on board. But most of the time, what you're better off doing is focusing on the vast majority of what you're hearing is positive and going, actually, though, I think we're doing the right thing. Maybe there's a few areas that we can tighten up on. But as I say, I sleep very comfortably at night. I know what we do here is correct and right in terms of the football terrace and how we operate. And I'm very proud of what we've achieved. And as I say, I can't wait, hopefully in the next 2 to 4 weeks, to be able to do another similar stream to this and announce the next stage, which is just, for me, is just, yeah, I'm humbled by the opportunity that myself and the platform has got. And yeah, Fan Park Live won't ever come back in by that name because somebody else owns a name, but essentially being live in the studio is exactly what that is. So yeah, absolutely.